My current favourite is actually Twitter's running around declaring exactly how much government funding each of the broadcasters get. Yeah. And that is very, I think, was it the Canadian broadcaster? They had it listed at 70%, they complained, and so Musk listed it 69%. And they're like, I'm off Twitter, I can't handle that. So there's a transparency war going on, but Twitter is at least amusing now. And I think you've got to move wherever the public forum is. My generation are not going down and talking politics at the local pub. They're talking about it at home, online, and if politicians in conservative media need to understand the world has changed. And look, it's almost like the political class now, or at least a section of it, is afraid of public opinion. Are you frustrated by the government's continuous efforts to censor, not hate speech or whatever, but to censor public opinion to protect themselves?
It's actually a really good way of putting it. I hadn't thought about it in those terms, but you're exactly right. It's almost as though there is a government narrative, and if you veer off course, that is immediately not agreeable to the regime in a sense. So it does feel like that a little bit at the moment, and I think we're seeing that with The Voice. We're seeing state governments all around the country taking a slightly different approach. We're going to wait, we're going to see how we go with it, and it's almost like that. The narrative is this is a good thing. It's yes, you're being friendly. You're a racist if you don't vote for it, and don't veer off script. So, but I just think people are not. They're not stupid. We know there is a significant, and I think majority voice of Australians that are going to reject The Voice, and we have to be brave in speaking to them and being truthful about it. And I think the public reward politicians that have a crack, frankly, and we see that all the time. People like honesty, they like authenticity, and why wouldn't they? They're sick of being told that everything's fine when it's not, or we're agreeable to this when we're not. So why don't we just start telling them the truth? That's one of. It's pretty controversial stuff, isn't it?
Well, let's switch to a great topic, which is you. If we look at all of Australia's politicians, there's a good chance that you have the highest international profile, much larger than even the Prime Minister Anthony Albanese. And don't worry, your carbon footprint is definitely lower than his. But basically, a video of yours went viral across Europe and the US. For those who missed it, Senator Alex Antic asked the Department of Health the perfectly reasonable question of, what is a woman? We're going to play this one quickly for you now.
Well, I'm going to finish up then, because this hasn't been very helpful, with a very simple question for the department, and that is one which has troubled me for a great deal of time with the bureaucracy here. Can someone please provide me with a definition of what a woman is? Department of Health. Definition of a man, definition of a woman. Anyone?
It's pretty basic.
It's basic stuff. Professor Murphy.
I think there are a variety of definitions, and I think
just a simple one.
Perhaps to give a more fulsome answer, we should take that on notice.
You're going to take on...
Alex, you looked, shall we say, fed up. Tell us about your thoughts in that moment.
Well, look, it's it had come on the tail end of asking a few other departments the same question. I'd asked the Department of Gender and Workplace Equality or something, I can't remember what it is. It's got an acronym, presumably. A very similar question, and had a similar response. In fact, there actually is a definition in that particular legislative instrument that runs the department, or that rules over the department, and the lady didn't know. But anyway, that wasn't the point. So we'd sort of rolled that through a few times. Really, just because I think we've got to ask the question. It was topical at the time, and it sort of builds the cat on some of the problems that are out there in the bureaucracy, that you can't get someone to just tell you the biological facts about what we know about gender. It's so ludicrous you can't almost construct it. But anyway, and poor old Brendan Murphy, I think that was the tail end of the day. It was getting a bit late at that stage. I think it might have been we'd had a session or two, and he was a bit tired